I do this on a regular basis. You'd think I'd know that. Seriously.
I know we were just bantering, but I'm like, I can't use this right now because I can't hear the other half of the conversation.
I need like more of a countertop so that I can get like...
Yeah, like have the underneath part. Yeah.
Yeah. Instead of sitting sideways like a weirdo.
Welcome to Drunk Bitches Be Like. I'm Brandy.
I'm Mindy.
And this is all about two women, a few beers, some tipsy stories, and some drunk ideas.
Welcome.
So my mom today, actually, this was a fun thing. So
fun fact, my mom vomited.
No, that's not great. So my mom, politics wise, has never really paid much attention, I feel like, in the past. And she like just votes for whoever she wants to. Like she voted for Trump the first election because she liked The Apprentice.
Oh.
Yeah. And then she realized what a fucktard he was and then voted against him in the next election. So today we were in the car driving and she goes, have you been watching? Who are you voting for governor of Ohio? And I was like, holy shit. I don't work in the news anymore. And I completely just I'm like, I don't know.
I mean, whoever wins the primary for the big D and then not the DeWine.
Yeah. I was like, okay. I was like, well, because we're going into primaries. Apparently primaries are next week. And so she's been watching the debates for the primaries.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. And she's like, have you seen these things? And I was like, I haven't, but please tell me. She was like, everybody except for the person from Dayton and Cincinnati are all idiots. They're like all super.
She likes Nan.
She's like, they're all super like anti-abortion and anti-women's rights. And I was like, what? Like, okay, we went to DC for Trump's inauguration, right? Because we bought tickets well in advance before anybody got elected. Because going to the inauguration for me is less of a...
You wanted to go to the inauguration, not the coronation of fuck...
Right. Yeah.
Fuckface.
I wanted to go to an inauguration because I've been there before and it's...
You didn't know where we stand on politics.
But for me, like the inauguration is a... putting politics aside, I think it is a process as part of our country of how we change hands of power and things. Yeah. And I think it's a very important thing to be recognized, even if you hate the person going into office. I think it's a thing that like everybody should attend at least once, even if, you know, you don't like the person going in, because it's like pomp and circumstance and all that stuff. It's kind of like graduating. You know, when you graduate from high school, it doesn't fucking matter that you walked across the stage. You got the piece of paper, right? But like there's something to the being able to stand up there and walk across the stage and say, I fucking did this. And like, this is the thing I did. So we went and they had the women's march at the same time. All the pink hats and everything else. And
I had a friend that was at the women's march.
Yeah. So like I was there and I remember being on the train going to the inauguration and you could tell there was a crap ton of people going to the women's march. Right.
Yeah.
And I'm there with my mom and we're going to the inauguration and she voted for Trump.
And you're like, don't fucking tell anybody.
Well, that's the thing. And I'm like sitting there going, oh my God, I don't know how to I don't know how to handle this right now. And like one of the women looked at me and goes, oh, are you guys going to the women's march? And I was like, no, we're going to the inauguration. And she goes, oh. And I was like, we bought tickets long ago. It's something I think everybody should attend. You know, I'm like trying to justify it. Like that I have to justify that we're going to the inauguration of the president of the United States just felt very weird to me. But also my mom's like so confused about why these women are marching. And I was trying to explain it to her over lunch, but like I couldn't like form it into words. And I'm like, I don't know. So like today having my mom in the car look at me and go, they're all super anti-women's rights. I was like, I'm sorry, who are you? What happened in the last like 6 years? Like I don't, but I'm super excited about it. And she's like, oh my God. And they were all in different rooms and they were asking questions. And like, you know, the lady from Dayton and then the guy from Cincinnati, they were giving great responses. And like, you know, and all these other people, like there's this Josh Mandel guy. And I was like, oh no, I know of Josh Mandel. And she goes, he was like, two dads should not be allowed to drop off their kid at school because other kids shouldn't have to see that. And she's like, I mean, if they've got two dads, then they've got two dads, and that's the world we live in.
Do you know the problem with the like on that vein, the whole like two dads thing? The problem is most of the people that I have run across that are like, I am anti-gay why? And they were like, cause I don't want to see two men kiss or two women kiss. It's never two women kiss.
Yeah.
I don't want to see two men
I don't want to
kiss.
see two men kiss.
Or, what, they have sex. And I'm like, not in front of you. Why are you picturing people having sex?
Yeah. Do you watch porn all the time? Is that your normal watching material?
In your head, do you look at every person and imagine them having sex with somebody?
Because honestly, I'm not gay, but I don't want you picturing me having sex either when you
No.
just like walk past me on the street.
I don't think you should picture me. It's not going to be
No.
anything great in your life. Well, I'm good. I'm proud of her.
Yeah, no, I was super impressed and excited. And I was like, okay, I gotta go check these people out then. And she was real upset though that they already have running mates, because she was like, I feel like if these two got together and like ran together, it'd be great. And I was like, oh my God, my mom's getting into politics and she's actually on the same side as me. I don't know what's happening. But on that same token with the two dads thing,
Yeah.
I was so I just went to Las Vegas last week on a conference thing, and I flew Delta. And in the hallways, on the when you board your plane, they
Right.
have like the posters and stuff that are pumping themselves and whatever else. I happened to notice, just because I feel like a lot of companies these days are either embracing or shying away from, showing off gay couples or whatever else. There was a poster that was hanging up that I saw several times in the Delta hallways going to and from airports, of a man sitting in a seat and another man sitting next to him that had his head like leaned over and on the other guy's shoulder, and they were like watching a movie together on their phone. And I was like, oh, that's nice. Like that's very nice. It's tasteful. It's lovely.
Yeah.
And it just like, it shows people in an everyday and like circumstance that
Right.
like is fantastic.
Yeah, that's what there's a lot of commercials that are doing. I think like freaking Cheerios or some other stuff, like where they have like all kinds of families.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, yay, those are probably getting banned in Florida too.
Well, probably.
I really hope Disney takes their ball and leaves. I mean, I know it would be hard for them to do that.
Oh yeah, because they set up a
But-
whole compound, but
But
they have so much money at this point.
yeah. Well, did you read that they were like, this bill isn't gonna fly because the contract as it was made years and years and years ago
Yeah.
said that if the state of Florida wants to dissolve. I am dying here. I had Skyline and it's killing me. If they want to dissolve I forget what they call it, what makes Disney their own city, they have to pay off all of the debt.
Oh.
that the bond or that the company has. So like Reedy, whatever that owns it.
Yeah.
They have to basically make them whole
Okay.
before they can close off everything. And they're like, this isn't going to fly. And I'm thinking too, they're like, Disney should pay tax. I'm like, I'm sure Disney pays tax or whatever. And whatever, they pay a lot of salaries.
Right.
That's what they do for sure, is pay a lot of salaries.
Oh, yeah, there's
And
a
those
ton of
people
employees.
spend money in the state of Florida, and Florida doesn't have a sales tax. They have, Florida doesn't have a
Income
income
tax?
tax. They have sales tax. You
Yeah.
pay a shit ton of sales tax, but no income tax that you have
Right.
to worry about. And if Disney employs 60,000 people.
Oh, at least I gotta say, yeah.
So you put them all out of work. Nobody's spending money in your fucking state.
Yeah, they're a
and
small
they're all
city.
going to claim unemployment. So
Unless they move. And the thing is think about all of the income they would lose from the visitors just
Right.
coming in, like tourists.
I mean, they don't just stay in Disney.
Oh yeah, no.
So
Yeah.
you can't all stay at a Disney hotel.
No.
They spread
No.
the wealth. But then I'm like, so you're losing money. You would lose money if they had to fire everybody. Or if they had to, lay people off or whatever.
Right.
Not fire everybody, but lay people off.
I'm wondering if they would relocate people.
Probably. I mean, they probably offer, but
Yeah.
I don't know. And then you're going to make it so that you have to rely on the county for fire service and police service and rescue service.
All of a sudden, that little city that was its own little entity is now all of a sudden your
a
responsibility.
huge drain on your tax system. I was like, this is the dumbest thing you've ever done, just because they said, I don't know, free speech is only free if it says what you want it to say. How was Vegas?
Vegas was good. Vegas was actually fantastic. It was a nice, I want to say vacation, but it wasn't a vacation. I was working the entire time, but it was also kind of like a mental vacation because all I had to concentrate on was work.
Right.
So it was like very narrowly focused, which for me is always, I have a million things going on all the time. So, but it was fun because when I got out of broadcast, I got into the corporate world. And so I'm literally the only person that does what I do where I work. So when I talk about certain things, people don't understand. They're like, oh, this is 20 minutes worth of work. And I like laugh to myself and I'm like, yeah, that's going to take me 8 hours. So it was nice being in a space with people who understand what you do, and also like people who are mega above me, and like learning from them and getting tips and tricks and things. Like there was, I when I got back, I went up to my boss and I was like, all right, look, here's the thing. I was like, if I didn't learn literally anything else, there was one thing that one guy taught me. That was this trick inside of my editing software.
Yeah.
About how to make the music. Like you can pick any music clip, and they have AI tools now that will, okay, well, it's only a minute long, but I need it to be a minute and 10 seconds. I can stretch it to be a minute and 10 seconds.
Oh, nice.
And the program will automatically pick up the beats in the music, stitch it together so that it will make it a minute and 10 seconds, and it won't sound like I tried to remix it.
Oh, okay.
Like it makes the audio clip, like it just adds in a section that matches the beats and does the whole. And I'm like, I would spend hours sitting at my computer trying to like, oh, I've got a 15-minute training video. There aren't 15-minute clips of video or like audio,
right,
that you need a nice music bed for. And when they are, they're like horribly boring and awful. So like, I'm like, this is a game changer for me. I was like, if I didn't learn anything else, this was worth 8 days of you paying for me to be in Vegas, because
hell yeah,
it will save hours upon hours of work. I was like, so that alone, I'm good. Like,
nice.
Yeah. And that was like maybe 15 minutes of one session of one class that I attended in the entire 8 days I was there.
Oh man, that's awesome.
So yeah. So I got a lot of little tricks and stuff. And so it was pretty amazing.
How was the nightlife?
Nightlife was okay. I was I ended up at the convention center or workshops and stuff mostly during the days. And then at night I had a couple of networking things that I went to. I was probably in bed by 11 o'clock midnight, which I'm sure everybody who's like, you were in Vegas, why would you? I had to be up at like 8 a.m., 9 a.m. the next morning. So, whatever. I got a lot of sleep, which was fantastic. The only thing that sucked so I stayed in the Flamingo, and every time I say that to somebody, they were like, oh. And I'm like, it's one of the older hotels on the strip, but it's like right central. It's on the monorail, and they put me in the tower that was right next to the monorail station. So when I got down off of my elevator from my tower, like I literally walked out the stairs and outside, and the monorail was up nice. It was right there. So I'm like, I could get everywhere I wanted to. But it was just, I don't know. Like the Flamingo, the thing about it is they refurbished these things a while ago. I think like 2012 or something like that. So the room was nice. I had a little Shea Lounge thing with a little table I could move. I had a little table with like 2 chairs. I could set up my laptop. Had a refrigerator. So I went to CVS, got some snacks and things, put them in there. So I had some snacks. The bathroom, there was no bathtub, which I was real salty about the first day, because I was like, I brought all these Epsom salts and things, because everything I read about this conference is you're walking like nonstop. Right. So come home and soak your feet. Yeah. So I went to CVS and I got one of those like half pan foil things. Yeah. They had, and I like, jimmied a like little foot soak thing every night, which actually worked really well. Nice. But the shower, besides not having a tub, it was a walk-in shower, and it had a glass panel on half of the shower where the shower head was. The other half was just open.
Yeah,
and
I've been in one of those.
Yeah, and there's a bar that looks like you could put a shower curtain on the inside, but there was no shower curtain. So I'm like, you just walk in and start showering. I'm like, I'm going to flood the bathroom. I don't understand, like, what. So every morning I'd get in the shower and I'd put the little, like, foot thing down in front of the opening, and I'm like, this is going to go horribly wrong. And it didn't flood, but like every day, like that little foot thing got real soaked. And I'm like, the cleaning ladies have got to come in here and be like, they've got to mop up the entire bathroom. Right. Like, what? I don't understand.
Put a
sliding door on it, or a shower curtain. I don't know. Anything.
Maybe they feel like you'd accidentally fall into the shower door and
I guess they have like the shower head thing was like one of those rain ones. So you could,
I hate those.
Well, and the thing is like you could put it so it goes straight down, but like I don't want to do that.
You don't want to stand 3 inches
Yeah,
from
I
the
don't.
wall.
Yeah, I don't want to stand right next to the wall and like hover. I'm like, I've got a full shower, and you want me to stand like up into this corner so that I can have it playing straight down on me? Like, no, that's not how I shower. Sorry.
I wish that they would tell you like what kind of shower heads they have when you're booking stuff, because I want power.
Yeah.
I mean, the best part about staying at a hotel is never ending hot water.
Right.
Being able to run the air conditioning as much as you want without paying for it.
Oh, I
leaving
kept that
all
shit
the lights
so
on.
cold. It was so ridiculous.
I love going to a hotel and being like, I'm going to need you to set up an extra set of blankets and pillows. And they're like, why? And I'm like, because the room's going to be 65.
Yep. Yep.
I need to just snuggle down in some blankets, and I can no longer bring my own blanket on the plane anymore. So.
I will say it is nice, the hotel blankets and like the comforters and stuff, like all those white poofy pillows, like that stuff. So it's so comfy.
I know. I
So
need
good.
more of them. A lot of times if I travel for work, I'll get a double room just so I can already have double the stuff.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So double pillows and all that. And then I'm like, I got them under my arms, under my knees, under my feet, behind my head. I look like I'm sitting in a little throne of pillows.
Oh yeah, I built a whole little like fort behind my head, so I'm all propped up because allergies and drainage and
Right.
the whole thing. Yeah, but yeah, I like to get a king size bed and then sleep on like 1/4 of it on the side, and that's the only part I sleep on the entire time. I like the
Yeah.
cleaning ladies have got to come in and they're like there's half of the bed that looks completely unused, never been touched.
I can't get used to I just can't do it. Even though we're going to get a king bed delivered at some point. They said it'll take a few weeks to deliver, whatever. But we got the split king.
Okay.
It's an adjustable bed, but not the sleep number.
Ooh, okay, but it's adjustable, so each side is adjustable separately?
Yeah,
Nice.
so it's so we're getting the adjustable frame, but also the mattress itself is adjustable.
Ooh.
It's got air pockets and shit in it.
Ooh,
And you can
fancy.
also control the bed with your phone, with an app on your phone, both sides.
Nice.
So when snoring starts happening beside
Are you
me,
gonna start fucking with each other?
I'm gonna be like raising his head, like I don't care. And your significant other goes, she's gonna have you like folded like a taco. I'm like, maybe.
I mean,
maybe.
that might happen. I tried to do like the smart pillow thing because of the two of us. I mean, we both snore. Let's be honest, because he definitely snores. And I'm the kind of person I have to be asleep first.
Right.
Because if he's snoring, then I can't go to sleep. But also, like, I snore really loud because all the things. And like, he'll come to, I'm like, God, you were snoring so loud. I had to go sleep on the couch. And I'm like, I bought a smart pillow at one point that would vibrate when it like heard a decibel level, like so loud. And it would vibrate till kind of like shake your head a little bit so that you would stop snoring. And it worked. The problem is you had to charge it all the time. And it wasn't that comfortable, but it also had speakers in it and stuff, so you could play music to wake yourself up and everything. I mean, in theory, very great, but not as comfortable as
Execution,
like,
not so
yeah.
great.
And then you had to keep it charged, and I'm like, I have so many things to charge. Just one more thing you have to plug in.
Should see the power strip next to, because I've got to have I've got one charger that goes to something, and then I have another charger that goes to my CPAP, and then I have a charger that's plugged in for my e-reader, and then one for the phone. And I'm like having to like unplug stuff to plug new stuff in, and I have to be very conscientious of like what the plug is that I'm using, because I don't want it to take up 2 spaces when I need all the spaces that I have.
Do you have a lot of USB things that plug in?
I do. Well, yeah, 3 or 4 of them are USB things.
So the plug that came with the smart pillow, it had 2 USB things, so that way you weren't taking up an extra plug that you needed to charge your phone, so that you could plug in your pillow and plug in your phone into the same plug.
Was it a fast charge?
That was the problem, though, is like the cable.
Yeah, because you can't charge your phone overnight and have 100% if you're slow charging it. And a lot of times your phone is like, fuck this, we're just not doing anything.
Yeah.
You're screwing with us.
So I do have some fast chargers that are USB, but like the cable that went to the pillow was so short that you couldn't even plug it into the plug. So I was like, well, this doesn't really help anyway. So I feel like I've used that plug now for other things. I've never used it for the pillow.
Oh man. No, and you get them with everything. You don't get the charging piece. You get like just the cable now.
Oh yeah. Everybody gives you the cable.
Nobody gives you the adapter.
Yeah.
And I'm
They're
like,
oh, you have those. And I'm like, but
yeah, for other things that came with them.
yeah.
I don't, Oh, man. Today, so sad. I read that Naomi Judd died.
No.
From the Judds, and Winona Judd, Ashley Judd.
Yeah.
Her kids. Yeah, Naomi Judd died.
So she was part of the duo Singers, right?
Yeah.
Was it her and her daughter?
It was her and Winona.
Okay.
Ashley was one of the unfortunate fallouts of like the whole Harvey Weinstein thing where she didn't want to sleep with him, so he ruined her career.
Yeah, and I used to love her because I remember seeing her like back in the like 90s, early 2000s in movies and stuff, and I always adored her.
She was outstanding. Oh my gosh. Where the Heart Is? Where the with Natalie Portman?
Yeah. And there was one with Denzel Washington. It was something about a spider.
Kiss all the girls.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, I think both of those.
Yeah.
But I remember the Kiss All the Girl, it was a serial killer thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the Where the Heart Is. I don't see it often, and I don't think of it often, but then I do, and I'm like, oh, she lived in a Walmart, and then that lady's new boyfriend was molesting her kids.
God.
Like, it was such a tragic movie, but she was really good in it. So they released an announcement that said, they announced Naomi's shocking news Saturday in a statement that read, "Today we sisters experienced a tragedy. We lost our beautiful mother to the disease of mental illness. We are shattered. We are navigating profound grief and know that as we loved her, she was loved by her public. We are in unknown territory." The statement did not provide any further details about their mother's passing, but I can surmise from losing her to the disease of mental illness that she may have committed suicide.
Yeah, there might have been some, yeah. Which, I mean, and that's a serious issue too, that like people need to, well, I don't want to tell you what you need to do, but I feel like mental health advocates are out there, and there are some free services and things like that. So like, you know, you should always seek out those things when you can, and if you need to, and even if you don't need to, and you feel like, you know what, you need somebody to vent to that's not part of your inner circle, it's real therapeutic.
That's fantastic. Sometimes I wish you could go to therapy and just say, I don't need you to solve my problems. I just need to tell you the problem.
Yeah.
I'm going to figure it out. It's like talking to my husband, and I vent to him, and he's like, here's what you need to do. I'm like, I know the solution. It's not the point. Yep. I need somebody to be on my side and tell me that this is as frustrating and infuriating to you as it is to me.
Right. Sometimes you just want somebody to like commiserate with you and be like, oh yes, that's terrible. It's awful. And you have every right to be angry or upset or stressed out or whatever else.
Quit trying to,
Yeah.
Don't ever tell me that it's not that big of a deal, that I'm making too much out of it, unless you want to become part of the problem.
Or to calm down. Calming down never calmed anyone down in the history of calming down. Never tell anybody to calm down.
I feel like my instant response to that is like, what do you mean calm down? I was calm.
That's right.
I've also had, I worked for this guy who would always be like, I need you to, I would be telling him stuff, and he was like, I need you to like, just like chill, like you're really wound up. And I was like, no, this is just who I am. I'm not wound up. I'm just me. Like if you want me to unwind or be like, I can't be, I'm not that chill person.
Yeah.
I can't be. I'm not.
No. Well, so there's sometimes that I'll have, you know, a little too much caffeine or something. Or if I have a great idea or like I thought of something, I will talk without taking a breath for probably a good 2 minutes, and it will come out a little high pitched, and I will just keep going, and I will rattle things off at the speed of lightning. And people will look at me and they're like, okay, you need to calm. And I'm like, nope. Did you listen to anything I said? Like I spewed out all of this information because in my brain it was all important. I needed to get it all out before like I had a minute to think, because I needed to like get it there and in your brain before I like stopped, because I would forget things. But instead, all they took out of it is, oh, she's talking really fast. Man, she needs to calm down. And I'm like, no, but you didn't listen to anything I just said.
Yeah, that's frustrating. I'm a fast talker. We've talked on here before that like I have to make a conscious effort to not
slow down,
do it. Because I get on the phone and I'm a million miles per hour. What's worse is when you start into something and you assume everybody's on the same page as you.
Yeah.
And on the same topic, and they're looking at you like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, we were just talking about this. And I was like, well, I was sure that you started talking about this. So that's where I diverged.
Yep.
And that's what I'm telling you about. And I'm going to need you all to like reverse your brains, get on the train that I was on, and remember everything that I said about it, because now I don't remember anything that I said about it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
unfortunate. Being in those meetings where they're like, yeah, I like how you worded that. Can you say it again?
Nope.
No. Yep. I don't listen to myself.
It's never going to come out the same way twice.
The only time I listen to myself is when you put these episodes out, and then I'm like, oh, Jesus. All right.
I have to listen to both of us repeatedly before we put these episodes out. And I'm always like, wait, what did I say?
I feel like that would be torture. I lived, when I first moved back from Ohio, one of the guys that lived in the house that I was at edited videos for skydiving.
Oh, God.
So he would put like really nice, he would put songs on.
Yeah.
And then like do these compilations. And my nose is running.
Do you want a Sudafed?
No, I have hypertension. My heart would explode.
Oh, God, no, don't do that.
I went to, veering off. We'll get back to this skydive guy. I took Allegra D one time because I did not feel well. And I was like, I'm pretty sure I have a sinus infection. So I took it. It wasn't helping that much anyway. I show up at urgent care. They take my blood pressure and the doctor goes, "What have you taken?" And I was like, "I took an Allegra D." And he goes, "You have hypertension." I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Your blood pressure is 180/96. Oh, like, I'm going to need you to never do that again. I was like, all right, I feel you. That's why I'm always on cortisone HPB. It's like, it's not a really good cough or sinus medication, but that's all I got. Anyway. So I shared a wall.
Yeah.
And it's not like it would have mattered anyway. The house is smaller and you just were where you were. So unless you were in the like extension, the build on, you could hear everything.
Right.
So separate story. So I would for hours hear him because you do editing. So you always have to like go back.
Yeah.
Start the audio again. Go back. Start the audio again. Do you know how many times I heard "Take Me Out" or "Crazy" by Gnarls Barkley? I wanted to kill myself. And then I was like, at my funeral, make it well known that it was because I heard "Take Me Out" 9,000 times Tuesday.
Oh my God.
And I don't even enjoy "Maybe I'm Crazy" anymore. That was a really good song.
I will say editing this is not as painful because normally, since I participated in the whole recording part,
right,
like I kind of know what's coming, and so like I know there's certain points where I'm trying to listen for that I know I need to edit or whatever else, but it's definitely when you're editing stuff, especially stuff that you don't really know what they're talking about. There have been times at my job where I'm listening and I'm like,
I don't know what's important and what's not.
Right. Because like they're talking about technical jargon and shit that I have no idea what's going on. And I'm like, I have to repeat it like 10 times. And I'm sitting there watching the same clip over and over and over and listening to it going, is that what this is supposed to? I don't know. Wait, no, maybe that's it. I don't know. No, wait, no, let me watch the next part. No, nope, gotta go back. Okay, I think this is where I'm supposed to put this because I don't know what they're talking about, and that sounds right.
You play it for somebody, and they're like, "What the hell have you just done?"
Oh yeah, I've turned in some stuff, and they're like, "This is not what we were looking for. Can you replace this with this? Because that's not the right thing." And I'm like, "Okay, yeah, sure."
Yeah, maybe if you guys kept up a linear conversation, like Brandy and I do not,
like,
we would have known.
Yeah, right. I'm like, I could go through and edit our podcast to make it linear conversation, but I mean, really, what's the point in that? Like,
oh, shit.
What's the point?
I don't know. Nobody's drunk and linear.
No.
Oh my God. What did we have tonight? We had, I did not get to drink before I left the house.
No.
I'm going to sneeze in a minute. I need a sneeze button and a sniffle button and a burp button.
They make those.
So you need a cough button.
I need a cough button. They make those too.
So we, I meant to drink some Bloody Marys. I got cans of Bloody Marys. The big bottle of Bloody Mary mix you can get. Well, they also make 9% canned Bloody Marys. And I don't have to weigh until Wednesday. So I was like, why not swell up like a huge balloon?
I was going to say Bloody Marys for me are great. They taste delicious, but I feel like everything swells.
Yeah.
You can't get rings off your fingers for like the next 4 days.
I wanted one Tuesday night so bad, but I weigh in on Wednesdays. Excuse me. So sorry. I've been leaning away from the mic. You guys are just going to get all the belches. I just can't do it anymore.
She had Skyline for dinner. It's a thing.
If you guys don't know what Skyline is, just look it up. It's chili hot dogs. It's a Cincinnati thing that has, I guess, branched out, but you have to like cinnamon and chocolate in your chili, and it's not real chili.
Okay, when you say cinnamon and chocolate in your chili, though, like you don't taste the cinnamon or the chocolate. It just does something to the chili to make it taste different, but still delicious.
Yeah, I feel like anybody outside of Ohio comes here. It's like Gold Star, but better. Anybody who comes outside of Ohio comes here and you're like, taste this delicious thing we have. And they're like, this is Alpo on noodles. Right. What did you do?
Oh, no. Well, and have you had the Chilito?
Yeah, I love the Chilito with sour cream.
The Chilito's great. So it's
nobody makes it the same. Like you could go to 6 different restaurants.
Oh, yeah.
And be like, I need a Chilito. And some of them are like manageable. They're like, I feel like they try and make all of them burritos. And I'm like, if I wanted a burrito, I would have ordered a fucking burrito. I want a Chilito. I want it to be thin. It should be less than like 1.5 inches diameter. And it should not be spilling out all over the inside of a box.
I've never eaten a Chilito as a burrito. I always use a fork and a knife still. Because it's like I open up the box and like I can see the grease coming out of it, and I'm like, yeah, well, we're gonna. Yeah,
I usually am eating them in my car because I'm like going someplace, so I need to just.
I will say, I just ordered a Chilito. I don't know, 2 weeks ago, I think, with the spaghetti in it. I usually just get the Chilito. Chilitos it's basically a flour tortilla that has the chili, the cheese, onions, mustard, all in the flour tortilla. But they also make 3 ways, which are spaghetti with the chili on top and the cheese. And they put it into a flour tortilla.
4 ways, and 5 ways.
Yeah. It depends if you want beans and onions and, those things. But I ordered it for the first time with the spaghetti in it. And
that sounds like a mess.
It was definitely a mess. It was delicious, but I feel like I prefer the Chilito without the spaghetti. If I want the spaghetti, I want a 3-way or a 4-way because,
Yeah, I just want it. Yeah, I just want
twirl
spaghetti.
And the cheese is honestly the best part because they just put piles of fucking cheese.
Oh my god, their cheese is so good.
Shredded.
It's not even. It's beyond fine. Yeah, it's like oh my gosh,
it's the finest cheddar, like
it's
shredded
angel cheese. It's angel. It's angelic.
It is. It's angelic cheese.
But I will say my more favorite chili spaghetti is going to Frisch's or Big Boy or Shoney's, whatever you guys have in your area, if those still exist.
Oh, I didn't know they had it.
They have chili. They have like got kidney beans in the chili on the spaghetti, and it's fucking amazing.
So when I make chili at home, it has like 4 different kinds of beans in it.
Really?
I put black beans, I put light red kidney beans, dark red kidney beans, and then I usually put chili hot beans.
I just do the dark red kidney beans.
And when I say I make chili, I buy all the cans of things and then dump them all in a pot and heat it up.
Oh, well, I at least get the Carol Shelby's chili kit and brown the meat myself.
Oh, no, I brown the meat
all the
first.
Shit in.
I brown the meat first, but I also like the onions and like I also put like green peppers.
Oh, no, I'm out. I'm never eating your chili.
Oh, yeah, no. But I buy the frozen stuff because they're already chopped up. And so then all I have to do is dump it in there. And because they're frozen, they come with a little water. So sometimes you have to add a little water to it. It's already in there.
But no, before we came here, I met you at a place, Backwater Voodoo, down the street.
Yep.
And we had tiki drinks.
Yes.
Which are mainly just a lot of alcohol in a cute little tiki glass.
They have fabulous little cups for all their drinks. I was there a little earlier and I had some dinner there. Well, let's call it dinner. My dinner is always weird because I eat appetizers for dinner. I did this mostly in Vegas too. I get like chip dip and so, but they have this jambalaya
I would
dip.
Like steamed dumplings. Thank you.
Yeah, that's it. But I got some jambalaya dip with some tortilla chips. It was delightful. It has like andouille sausage in it and cheese and melted goodness. It's delicious. And then I also got I got a cup of their gumbo, which has chicken thighs and andouille sausage, and it was super fucking spicy. And my first couple of bites of it, I wasn't a huge fan of the flavor, but it was weird because I had chips left over from my dip, and I used the chips and ate the rest of the soup with the chips, and I loved it on the chips. So I don't know if I just needed a little bit more like salty or like carb with it or whatever, but like it was super yummy and it was very spicy and delicious.
Their drinks were good. I had a painkiller.
I had a hula girl and also I don't know what the other one was. It had a half naked girl in the drink.
It's awesome. Then we left and went to another local place and had Long Island iced teas. No tequila for me, which I used to go to a couple of bars that they just didn't put tequila in it. I feel like they learned their lesson. Like there are some people that just shouldn't have tequila.
Yeah.
I am one of those people. I mean, I'm probably not going to start a fight, but I wouldn't avoid one.
I'm pretty good on tequila. I'm a happy tequila person, but I'm also a naked tequila person.
Oh, yeah, I used to be that.
So, you know.
Yeah. So it can either turn into that and me losing half of the night.
Yeah.
Or somebody calling me honey and me being like, what the hell? Who are you talking to?
Why did you call me that? I will say one of the bartenders.
Not your honey.
One of the bartenders called me baby. And it rolled off so that it wasn't like offensive or anything, but like after he said it and walked away, I was like, I think he just called me. Yeah, he just called me baby. Okay.
You're like, thanks. I appreciate that. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So we played darts together.
Yes.
On Thursdays. I've been out all season because of the shoulder thing. Thank you for playing on Thursday. It was our last night.
Yeah, no, it was fine.
And it was a rescheduled night because we had like a freak snowstorm.
I had a good night of darts.
Yeah, you did.
I have discovered, I think this is my secret weapon. I go and have an espresso martini at my favorite place, and then I go play darts, and for some reason I do better.
Yeah, good deal.
Maybe it's the caffeine.
Everybody did really well. We beat that team. I was super happy about that. I wish we would have beat them the 2 other times that we played them, but whatever.
Yeah, no.
So we had to reschedule this game because it snowed horribly one night in Ohio, and we were like texting the president of the association like, hey, what's happening? And they were like, if you feel the need to like reschedule a game, then by all means go ahead and do so.
We were on like a level 2 snow emergency.
Yeah. It took them until like 5:00 in the afternoon to be like, we're canceling all matches.
And we play at 7. And just for anybody who doesn't know what a level 2 snow emergency is, there's only 3 levels. At level 3, you're legally not allowed to drive on the road unless you have like a special
emergency
permit or something, or an emergency. Like you're going to the hospital.
Yeah. So
we were at level 2 at like noon.
Yeah, and that used to suck. We lived in the middle of nowhere in Greene County and I used to work in Montgomery County, and Montgomery County used to never do snow levels.
Yeah.
And so we worked for a government agency. And their policy was, you can't take snow days. If we're not closed, you have to come in or you have to take your own time.
And if you live in a different county, then you have a different level snow emergency.
Yeah, and I'm like, it's a level 3, and they were like, we'll figure it out. And I'm like, well, fuck off, because I'm not coming in.
Legally not allowed to drive, fuckers.
I'm like, are you going to bail me out of jail or whatever's going to happen? Pay my ticket, and they usually wouldn't. So we rescheduled, and we didn't have a lot of people who wanted to play, but we managed to get a quorum together. You need to have at least 4 people. So we have this group chat that I try not to use it too much because people are working, and just because I'm awake at 10 o'clock doesn't mean everybody else is. And just because I send out a text at noon, I don't need everybody to respond immediately. Like, I get it. We have a third shifter that's on our team. She responds more than anybody. And I'm like, go to sleep.
Yeah, seriously.
Go to bed. But yeah, I mean, I try and keep it just nothing but the darts and like giving out what our roster is going to be that night, and who can play, who's not going to play. So I saw this really funny article, and actually the article and the video come from back in 2017. So some people may have already heard about this, but I was so tickled. So I saw a video of these waffles, and I was like, that's not a real thing. So then I Googled these waffles. So the waffles, it's a restaurant in Thailand, and they make penis-shaped waffles.
It's fucking hilarious.
And they drizzle stuff all over them, and they give them to you on a stick, and you eat them.
It makes it look like you're eating a jizzed up penis.
Yeah. So I thought it was hilarious. So I copied the link on the article, and when I opened my messenger, your messenger is always open on the last chat that you were in. So I backed out of it, and then apparently clicked it again instead of clicking to send it to my husband. And I pasted it and I hit send, and I was like, oh my God, you can't take it back.
She sent it to the whole dark group.
I don't know everybody's level of comfort with penis waffles.
Yeah. But it was, I will say, so I got it the morning, like you sent it out at like what, 9 a.m. or something like that?
Yeah, on Friday.
Yeah, on Friday. It was like 8:30, 9 a.m. on a Friday. And I had been gone for like a week and a half, and it was my first day back in the office, and I opened that and I just started dying laughing. I was like, this is so fantastic. Like, welcome back into work. Like, hello.
I texted it, and then I was like, maybe if I delete it on my side, it will delete. That's not how texting works. And I was like, shit.
It only deletes.
I'm like, do not open. So it rendered with a thumbnail of a girl holding a penis waffle.
I mean, in all fairness, though, it did look like an ice cream cone. It looked, all right, so the bottom part looked like the cone, and the top looked like it had been dipped in like pink chocolate or something.
Yeah.
But then it did have like white, like it looked like the white ice cream from inside of the pink coating had been like coming out of the top in the middle and drizzled down the side. So like if you had no context and just looked at the picture, it would have looked like a young lady holding a ice cream cone that was, you know, melting.
Yeah, except for the fact that the headline was penis waffles.
Well, yeah. I mean, there was also that.
So I'm like, do not open that. Do not open that unless you want to see penis waffles. Oh, look, you can just see a penis waffle in the thumb.
Yeah, I mean,
son of a bitch.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
Yeah, so I didn't hear. I was like, please don't let anybody be some kind of weird closeted Christian conservative. I don't think we have any of those on the team. We play a lot of them, but I was like, oh my God, because I know the other woman that's on the team with us would not take offense, but there are a lot of women who would take offense to that.
Yeah.
One guy, I don't even remember what he said. He was something about like, that's something to come to in the morning or what. I was like, I don't, shit.
It was fantastic.
My husband's like, somebody's texting while tired. I was like, shut up. Shut up.
It was funny because it was almost like immediately you sent it and then immediately another text came through that was, oh no, don't open that. Don't open that. I didn't mean to send that here. That was, I can't delete it. And I was like, oh no, I'm opening that shit and it's fucking hilarious.
I meant to send the penis waffle to my husband. Yeah, I love it. But that came from like 2017. Somehow it got picked, probably TikTok. And I was just dying. They call them dick waffles on this article. Like the article is titled, oh, nope, I didn't get the title. The article is by some guy named Dave Moy back in 2017.
Well, I have the link. We'll put it in the notes.
Oh, that'll be great. Everybody can look at a dick waffle.
There you go.
God, that was so embarrassing. Like, have you ever like chatted something to somebody that you shouldn't? I mean, outside of like, every once in a while I've been like, yeah, I can't make it. And then I'm like, wrong window. My bad.
Yeah, no, I've definitely hit some things in some group chats that I'm like, oh shit. And then I'm like, I go back and reread it 5 times and I'm like, wait, okay, well, it didn't sound that bad. All right, we're fine. I just need to add, if I add one more line of text here to like quantify what I just sent, then maybe that will like improve on what I just sent to the massive people that I was talking about.
Yeah. That's my huge fear in business emails.
Oh yeah.
In text messages, in Teams, is like, did I just say something about somebody or reply all?
Oh, I'm real careful in Teams because I've got some chats in Teams of different teammates that like will send me things and I'm like, I literally go through my like side thing on your chat because you have different groups.
Yeah.
And then you have individuals and I'm like, I'll click on an individual and then I will like go up and manually type in that individual's name again, just so it's like a single thing and click on them again. Yeah. Okay. I'm in the right one. Cool. All right. We're good.
Oh my God. No, I am.
Because I've done it too many times in text. So you got to watch it.
We had, I worked for this company before this one. My company was absolved by the company I work for now. And we're all on this WebEx. Okay. And the person who's presenting, I don't know what the other person was thinking. Maybe they thought that like, I'm like, you're looking at it. How do you not see this? And so we're doing this presentation and I don't remember who it was for, but it was not for the president of our company because she was related to that person. So it was some other person that was high up in the company.
Yeah.
And we're giving, somebody's giving this presentation. It's not going well. There's questions being asked. And all I remember is her posting what the heck? Nope. It was something either that had shit in it or it was what the fuck. And we used Jabber. So it pops up on this person's screen. Maybe she just didn't think that they would get it. Or I think she maybe was putting it in a group chat and didn't realize they were part of the group chat.
Yeah.
But it pops up in the thing. And it might have been like, what the fuck is wrong with him, or something like that. Like something referring to the person that we were presenting to.
Oh my God.
Not getting what we were telling them because they kept asking the same questions over and over again.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, if somebody's asking the same questions over and over again,
They're not paying attention.
They're not paying attention, or you're not presenting it well.
Right.
Those are the two possibilities. So after that happened, they enabled a policy on all of our WebExes where you could only share one window. You could not screen share. You couldn't share your whole screen.
Okay.
Or your whole computer or whatever. You could only share one
display
thing.
Yeah.
So like if you wanted to show Word was the only thing you could share. Nothing else would share. And then you could, pick something else to share, like a PDF, and then you could switch back and forth between the two. But yeah, you could no longer just be like, share my screen.
Oh, dear God.
And everybody else in the company was like, oh, this is stupid, because it is easier. Teams, that's a main flaw in Teams, is they're like, how do you share multiple documents at one time? Stop sharing one and start sharing another. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, you have to go back and forth.
So, so they instantly put that policy in, and everybody was like, we don't understand. And I'm like, don't ask.
Just don't.
Don't. That's so stupid. I don't think I've done that recently. I think the dick waffle was the most recent thing.
I will say, so the Teams thing, like, not that these are bad things to share, but like it annoys the crap out of me, because when we have you'll have a Teams meeting, right, with everybody, and it automatically creates a group with all the people that attended.
Get rid of it.
No, you can't get rid of it. And what happens is like after the presentation's over, you will have, like, if we've got 200 people in the company, all of a sudden you have 50 people going, thank you, that was very good, thank you. So for the next half hour, your computer is constantly tinging that you get messages, but it's like it's from this message from the group thing that they just presented that everybody's saying thank you, that was amazing. Like,
or you need to be on the meeting is running over, and you just get 1,000 gotta drop, just fucking drop.
Just do it,
fucking drop.
Nobody cares. Nobody's paying attention.
This is not an airport. You do not have to announce your departure. Just drop.
I love
they do it because they think that, like, when the roll call comes in, because when you do a meeting, there's a roll call that automatically does. You logged in and you were there for the most part, so you're in the roll call.
Right, you're fine. But
you saying I have to leave doesn't change roll call.
I always love the random person, though, that like didn't join the meeting at the beginning and they call in on their cell phone.
Yeah.
And like you didn't do it through Teams. You like called into the thing, and like in the middle of the presentation, an hour and a half presentation, like 45 minutes in, you'll get like a number, blah, 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 is trying to join the meeting. And like somebody has to accept them. And it's like, everybody has access to accept because it gives you the accept button. And like, I want to know how many people are actually, because like every time it comes on my, I'm like, accept, just get out of my fucking way. You're like in the middle of the presentation, like just, yes, okay, accept. They need to make like an auto accept thing where it's just like, oh no, it automatically puts you in and doesn't announce to the crowd that you just joined 45 minutes late.
And I'm not even sure that's something that you can change on the settings. That's the other thing I don't like about Teams, is like, you can't just make a general, this should happen on all meetings that I'm conducting or that I'm a part of. You can do it for that one meeting, and then it's like, I forgot what you said, my bad.
I didn't save any of your settings because that's not a thing I do.
And I always have to remember to come in on mute, because if you're the first 3 people that join, you're not on mute, and like the 4th person is muted. I've come in hot before, and I'm like,
I always love coming in and it's like, your mic is muted, and I'm like, thank God.
Have you ever had somebody who forgets that they have like their they forget to hit mute?
Yes.
And then I'm like, I really hope whoever that is pouring a pitcher of water.
All right. So I was a real estate agent during quarantine, and like, you're required to take like 30 hours of classwork every 3 years, right? So during quarantine, it was great because they had a lot of online classes. So you didn't have to like, go from 8 to 5 and go sit in a classroom somewhere. Fantastic. Except for, I have discovered real estate agents are the absolute worst at using Zoom or anything else. Because non-fail, in every class I took, there would be at least 1 or 2 people who would not mute their mics, and they would have their camera on, and all of a sudden they would just start talking to somebody off screen in the middle of the presentation. And you're like hearing the presentation, and I'm like, how are you not hearing yourself through your speaker, headphones, you're just chatting with somebody else. And then like the presenter will stop, and they'll be like, can we get because
can we all mute our mics?
Right.
And I'm like, no, call them out.
They either do that, or they're not the ones controlling the actual session. So they'll be like, hey, go, Jack, can you mute everybody's mics because there's somebody else that's hosting it or whatever that's in charge of that shit. And it's like, hey, can you mute everybody's mic? And I'm like, yeah, can you fucking mute everybody's mics, Jack? Where the fuck were you? Like, why aren't you paying attention? You're hosting the shit.
Oh my God. I conducted a WebEx one time and I was in tears doing the WebEx because if you guys don't know, there's a couple of apps that you can download. You can go find them, but these apps have you put headphones on and it's kind of like they're a gimmicky app.
Yeah.
Because what it does is it has you speak and then it feeds the sound back into your headphones and you eventually can't talk.
Oh.
Like you start like it.
Because you can hear yourself on
Right.
a delay.
It messes with your brain.
Yeah.
So I'm in this WebEx and whoever is on it can't mute because a lot of them like dial in from their phones and I'm like, that doesn't do you any good. I'm trying to present to you visual information that you need for whatever the fuck you're doing with Medicare, and I need you to be able to see it. But you called in from a phone that has no mute on it. And so I'm like, can you mute? Can everybody mute? And I can't see if they mute because they're on a phone line.
Right.
So it's not like when you're calling in from the computer and I can see that you're muted or I can mute you. I was in tears because the echo was so bad that I was unable to speak at some points in time because the feedback into my headset was so bad. And I'm like, and it was basically a word off from what I was saying. So I'd be like, what do you, blah, blah. I was like, I can't do this. Can somebody please mute? Can you guys please mute? Can everybody just mute their microphones or their phones? It was the least professional. I'm glad they can't leave Yelp reviews because I would have been fucked. But have you ever seen it came out like with quarantine, but the work from home bingo?
No.
It's like work from home meeting bingo. And you could topper it. So somebody said like, can you mute your mic? What is it? Can you share? I'm not seeing your screen. That annoys me more than everything because the person who is like, I can't see your screen is very accusatory. And like 300 of us are like, we can all see it.
Right. There's something wrong on your end.
Can you unshare and share again? No. Can you get out of the meeting and come back again?
Right.
We're all fine. You're the anomaly. Get the fuck off the phone. I don't like you. Whoever you are, I'm marking you down on my book. People I don't want to fucking talk to.
Right.
Briefly, because we have two other things that we wanted to talk about, but the end of society is nigh, and I want to know when people will quit cheering for billionaires owning shit.
Oh, yeah.
So Elon Musk bought Twitter.
Oh, I heard about that. Well, didn't he tweet? I think the only reason I heard about it is because he tweeted something, which I'm not on Twitter, so I didn't see the tweet, but I saw an article about the tweet.
Right.
About how he was going to like block everybody who did something as soon as he bought Twitter.
Yeah. So he's talking about firing a bunch of people. He's talking about firing everybody that has to do with like the moderation to like, like basically he said you have to be able to equally offend the left and the right. Like that has to be allowed to happen. And I'm like, that's fine. That's not why people were getting banned.
People were getting banned for misinformation.
Right.
That's totally different than criticizing people.
Yeah. You can't have a national platform to just fucking lie.
Yeah.
And frankly, not enough people are banned. I can't help it if some people tell the truth more than other people.
Yeah, I'm sorry. If you go on there and you're blatantly lying of things that like can be refuted,
right?
Like you should.
Well, and you're using it for shit like fucking Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't know if you saw any of her testimony.
No.
So they're trying to stop her from being on the ballot because by proving she was an active part of the insurrection.
Okay. Which I'm pretty sure she was.
It was a fucking insurrection, not just a protest.
Yeah.
Tried to overturn the government. Tried to kill people. So when you go in with a rope and are like, we're going to lynch people. Yeah. When you set up your own gallows outside. So they, love that. She, such and such was a national hero. No, she fucking still tried to climb in through a broken window. And you get what you get. Sorry if that's rude, but I don't care.
She didn't know she was breaking and entering. She was just crawling in through a broken window.
Right. So they were asking her these questions. They're like, didn't you say blah, blah, blah? And she's like, I don't recall. And they were like, well, here's the tweet in which you said it. And she's like, I mean, what I meant was, now you remember? You remember what your intention was and everything?
Yeah.
And they were like, did you say Nancy Pelosi was a traitor to the country? No. Well, we have it right here. Do you want me to show? I meant that she... I was like, you're such a fucking idiot. You so clearly are lying on the stand.
Yeah.
It's not even funny. But she got banned for misinformation on Twitter.
Okay.
So I guess he's going to like unfreeze Trump's thing. He was like, it needs to be a free forum. That was never the misinformation was the problem.
Yeah.
The issue is that it's considered it's a private company. So Boebert and Marjorie Taylor Greene are trying to say, well, they should be considered a communications company, which then means that they can't do that type of thing, like something. I don't know. I should know. I should have written it down. But billionaires own all of our means of communications now.
Yeah, pretty much.
So you got the Zuck, you got the Bezos, I'm like, and people are like, yay, Elon bought Twitter. And I'm like, he paid $44 billion. Do you know what you could do with $44 billion that isn't buy Twitter?
End world hunger, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, fucking idiot. I hate him. And then he's saying stuff like and then he's poking fun at people like, next I'm going to buy Coca-Cola and add the cocaine back in. What? You're a moron. I hate you. I hate you.
Why?
I don't know. Honey is having some good fortunes in his career. And he was like, I'm looking at cars. I was like, buy a fucking Tesla and I will set fire to our whole house. I'm not dealing with that. But that kind of annoyed me. But you been?
If there's any say, I love my Buick. So
yeah, there you go.
I love Buicks.
I'm trying to get a Telluride. I had to fight about the Telluride too, because I kept going, well, why don't we just go test drive like 9 of these? I was like, in Car and Driver, like for X amount of years in a row, this is the number one SUV. And I was like, here's how they talk about the handling. This handles better than that one. This is that. I'm like, not to mention I can get a fully loaded one for like $55,000.
Yeah.
As opposed to getting a Grand Wagoneer that starts out at $60,000 with nothing on it.
Yeah, with no bonuses.
Yeah. So, I don't need a Tesla. Also, I've seen videos where they show like how so Tesla will fix the things, but they are coming off the line so fast that like seams don't match up. Like the windshield is misgasketed.
Okay. So last year when I was in Portland and took my little trip.
Yeah.
Which y'all heard about because we had like 2 episodes about it. Mm-hmm. So people were like setting fire and shit to Teslas.
Oh, nice.
Like there would be Teslas parked because everything's like off street parking, right?
Right.
So like there's just cars and cars lined up on streets everywhere. Anytime I passed a Tesla, either a windshield, a rearview mirror, like had been bashed in, clearly had been tried to set on fire. Like there was a tire melted on one side of it.
God.
Oh no, they were getting bashed up left and right. And I was just like, oh my God, people really hate these cars. And I'm like, oh no, they just hate Elon Musk.
Yeah, but I mean, don't take it out on somebody else's car. Like I said, I wouldn't burn his car, but I would burn our house down.
Yeah, I mean,
just kidding.
Yeah, don't take it out on other people's cars. But seriously, I was like, holy shit, man, they really hate these cars.
Yeah. What's that thing? I'm like now falling into the category of eat the rich, tax the rich. Like, all the things. Do all the things to the rich. I don't need another billionaire. The fact of the matter, like if you go out and read the statistics, I'm not going to quote them now because I don't have them in front of me, but like 1% of the world's billionaires hold, like 1% of people in the United States hold more wealth than like 60% of the United States.
Oh, yeah.
Stupid. And what happened to those 1% people? I admit, I didn't understand it back then when they were protesting on Wall Street about the 99 percenters.
Yeah.
Now I get it. And I'm like, come back.
Yeah.
Come back. I'll come up there. I'll hang out. Not when it gets cold, but I'll hang out. So have you been watching, and let's go in chronological order. Smack heard around the world. We're way late on it.
We are way late on it.
So I'm going to preface this by saying, for my part, like there are reasons that I'm like, hey, this is going to affect both of them very negatively.
Right.
However, from like a perspective of a white woman, I have no say in, I don't have a say in like the culture of it.
Right.
Because it's a huge difference in culture. So culturally, I'm not going to comment because you can go and see a lot of Black content creators on Instagram and on TikTok, on Twitter that have talked about it, and listen to them when you want to talk about the culture of it. I just wanted to bring it up because you had read that somebody's on retreat now.
So I'll be honest, when I first I didn't watch the Oscars, which is odd for me because I used to be like religious watcher of
I love award
Oscars
shows
and award shows and all those things. And I obviously went into TV video kind of stuff, so like it always appealed to me. When I first heard about it, like the day after, I was like, oh, that was clearly a TV stunt
Set
thing.
up, yeah.
Yeah, because like they've been having droppings in ratings and everything else. So
That's what I thought.
clearly this was a thing that was set up and it was a comedy skit, right? Because like I don't know the two people involved. I don't know Will Smith and I don't know Chris Rock, but knowing of them as actors and comedians and things like that, I was like, that seems like something totally that they would like rehearse and do to like, you know, just have a moment.
Sorry, I accidentally called one of our dart people.
Oh, you're fine.
I didn't mean to, but go ahead.
But so when I first heard about it, and for a good like 2 or 3 days, I think I was convinced that was what was happening. I didn't look too much into it. And then all of a sudden, like it was smacked in my face day after day about all the fallout and everything else that was happening. I was like, oh shit, no, that was a real moment.
Yeah, I didn't even believe that it was real when they first started doing the fallout. I was like, this is some bullshit.
Right. And so then when it came to fruition, it was like, this is a real thing. Regardless of culturally or anything else, there's and this is a thing, and this is probably the culture I was raised in.
Right.
There are certain places where there is certain decorum, and like the Oscars to me is like the top of the top of the top of the top of the things and the places where like you have spent thousands upon thousands of dollars on dresses and jewelry, and you have spent thousands upon thousands of dollars of getting nominated for these things, because knowing the back end of it, like companies spend hundreds of thousands of dollars just to get your name in the running for these things. Like you don't just get nominated.
Right.
You get submitted to be nominated by your company, or you do it.
Right.
And you pay money to do that. I got nominated for a local Emmy once, and I ended up paying like $400 that year to submit my name to even get nominated.
And you didn't like get $400 as a prize.
You get no money back from this stuff. Like, you know, if you win, maybe like you can put that on your resume and stuff on a local level. Now on a national level and the Oscars and stuff like that, clearly you're going to get more work out of it and everything else. So
you didn't get more production.
Yeah, no, it's not.
They were like, we don't want you to produce more.
Right.
Everybody's knocking on your door.
Yeah.
WDTN is like, hey,
you were nominated. We want you. So, I mean, so in my brain, like this is a business function, right? Mm-hmm. This is not a social gathering. This is a business function for your career.
The Golden Globes are a social function.
Well, those are kind of, yeah. So that in my brain, like that's the first thing I went to. And I was like, of all of the things to do at that kind of function.
Right.
Whoa. Like that was like way out of line for me, because I was like,
I don't think anybody in the audience thought that it was real at first either.
Well, and also I didn't know the background on Jada either, because like when I heard about the joke, I was like, I don't understand. Like I know she's got a bald head, but I didn't know that she had alopecia. I'd never heard anything about her talking about it or anything else. So in my brain, I was like, okay, he made a joke about her starring in G.I. Jane, but I was like, I thought she looked beautiful. And so I didn't even think that it was a thing. And then after I heard about how she had struggles and she'd been open about it and everything else in the industry, I was like, okay, I get where he was very upset about that. Totally understand where he was very upset about that. Still don't agree with the physical violence of getting up and going to do that.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I would have yelled, keep my wife's fucking name out of your mouth.
And from his seat, had he just yelled that at him, totally agree with that. Right. Fantastic. Do that. But yeah, getting up, walking on stage and doing it.
It was fantastic projection.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I just saw earlier, he was photographed earlier this week or whatever in India. And today I saw a headline. He was taking a not a mental retreat, not
sabbatical.
A physical, it was not religious either, spiritual. He was taking a spiritual retreat in India, and that's where he's hanging out now and like hanging with monks or something. And I was like, now this to me seems more of a publicity, you know what I mean? Like,
right. Well, I mean, that's like when you enter rehab as a, somebody get Ezra Miller into rehab, by the way.
Oh
like,
my fucking
God.
He has
tanked his whole fucking career.
I just saw the article on him and I'm like, holy Lord, he is gone.
They're like, Flash Gordon. Nope. Not Flash Gordon anymore. Yeah.
It's the Flash, not Flash Gordon.
Oh, the Flash. I'm sorry.
It's a whole different thing. Sorry. It's the comic book.
Flash.
He was the Flash. But yeah, I mean, he was in the Fantastic Beasts movies and everything else. And like, I heard about his other arrest and then he got arrested again and like all the abusive behavior. And, like,
when we were talking about mental health, I feel like that's not even just like an alcohol thing. That might be a mental health thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Sorry, kind of like mental health. I understand why they originally put Britney in conservatorship. And I don't think that her parents should have been the like Amanda Bynes. There was like like her parents were part of it, but it was like a committee
thing.
Yeah, and they really didn't want anything to do that much with it because she was so angry with them.
Yeah.
So they were like, you know what? We're gonna bring in this neutral third party. Yes, we're on the conservatorship. I think they like managed her finances or whatever, but for the rest, and she didn't have money.
Yeah,
she didn't have much money at all. I think they said she had a few $1 million by standards.
Yeah.
By what was that show she was in? So
oh God. She was on a couple of different ones that I really loved because she was on one with one of the girls from 90210 that I
loved that one. Yeah. I loved that one. And then she was on the one where she was a kid and she was funny. She was a great comedian, but her actually, I think her parents are agreeing to dissolve her I think they just want the fuck away from her.
Yeah.
But because she's in the news this week for doing stupid shit. But the whole Britney thing, I wondered.
Yeah.
Because there's clearly something different about her. I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. It feels like I want to look at her fiance and be like, you're like fucking somebody the mental age of a 14-year-old.
Yeah.
And you're okay with it. Like, I just feel like she's still very childlike in her head, and I'm not sure what it is. But I saw a meme where they were like, yay, free Britney. Britney's freed. But is anybody checking in on her? like she's naked on Instagram constantly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess she's taking a break from all that shit. But Ezra Miller, somebody needs to get that boy in check.
Yeah, he needs therapy on a weekly basis. He needs some
inpatient care.
Yeah,
I'm like, somebody is off their bipolar meds.
He has jumped off the deep end, which is sad because he's like this rising star that's like,
Yeah.
And I did read an article about it and how he grew up and he like got thrust in the spotlight super early and like it's pressure and everything else and like I don't get it because clearly I haven't done that. But like at the same time, like I understand how that could affect somebody negatively, but like that's why you need to have help on a regular basis and have somebody to talk to and have somebody to like help guide you through that.
Right. Well, and you have to look at like celebrities like Will Wheaton has come out and said, like he was forced, kind of like I think Macaulay Culkin was, like they were forced to support their families. And I believe Will Wheaton's kind of thing is that his mother wanted the notoriety through him. So she wanted to be famous, but the best she could get is making her kid famous, and he had no interest in any of it.
Right.
So that was kind of sad. That was very abusive. I know Macaulay Culkin, their families talked about how abusive their dad was and stuff. Can you imagine being the breadwinner in your family at like 10 years of age?
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah.
I mean,
that kind of pressure, that should be your money and your money alone.
Oh, absolutely.
Like put it in a trust, but yeah, don't make your kids perform like pet monkeys.
Yeah.
And also don't have pet monkeys. It's rude. Did you watch any of the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial?
So I haven't watched all of it.
I think it's still going on.
It's still going on. I've gotten some clips here and there.
The most beautiful woman in the world shit in somebody's bed.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not calling, I have no stake in like whether she's beautiful or not. I've only read, our friend Jody pointed out when we were talking, like she apparently has one of the most symmetrical faces mathematically, which symmetry equals beauty to most people's vision, to what you see visually.
Oh yeah, it's a
symmetry is more appealing.
I was gonna say, I don't know if it's a biological thing or it's but like it that's a real thing,
right?
Yeah.
So one of the most symmetrical faces in the world, ergo one of the most beautiful women in the world, took a shit in somebody's bed. so I can just picture her climbing up on the bed,
right, and just like
every woman is peed. So in case you guys don't know how women pee outside, we squat down and we grab our pants and our underwear from the back and pull them all the way toward our knees so that we don't pee on those also, with your feet very far apart, preferably on an incline going down
And leaning up
in
against
the
something
right
behind you.
right way.
Yeah.
The incline has to be going in the right way. If you're pissing on level ground, you're going to be standing in piss.
That's true.
But also, that's how you would have to take a shit, is to like pull your pants down, grab the crotch,
Unless she was naked.
and then run to the bathroom to wipe your ass.
Yeah, I don't know.
You ran. I mean, we've all had to run out of the bathroom
Yeah.
to like grab toilet paper.
So
the most beautiful woman in the world had shitty butt cheeks to get off the bed and run. I mean, people don't even want to think that, like people they find attractive shit. Everybody shits. But she had to run. She had to jump down from the bed.
Which you got to imagine how nice their bed was, too.
And like penguin waddle to the bathroom to use a bidet.
Jesus. All right. So I've heard a little bit of like the recordings and stuff. And I've always been a Johnny Depp fan. Amber Heard was kind of on my radar a little bit when she was on Aquaman, but that was about it.
I didn't realize she was the girl in Magic Mike too.
Oh, I never saw Magic Mike or 2.
Oh, I know.
Sorry. Well, I need to. It's one of those things that's like on my list of shit.
Okay, you have to see number 1 so that number 2 makes sense. Number 2 is a much better movie.
Oh, okay.
Number 2 is definitely a comedy.
Okay.
When they got rid of like trying to have a love story, it fucking spiced it up right away.
Fantastic. Yeah. No, they're on my list of things that I want to watch. It's not that I don't want to watch it.
I'll come over and watch them.
I've never gotten around to it, but yeah, we can do that. We'll have a girls' night. Like
girls' night, we'll record.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ!
Like I understood when they got rid of Johnny Depp from the Fantastic Beasts franchise because he's going through this whole tumultuous period and he was accused of abuse and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
So I understand completely where they were like, you know what?
And
we need to take a step away from this.
Aside,
yeah,
he was apparently a drunken, drugged up mess.
Right. Well, and my thing is like he was a drunken, drugged up mess, which he might have been that before her, but also he might have been that because of her. And either way, I'm not going to say because they're speculate because clearly they're still going through this whole
sobriety
thing.
is not somebody else's problem.
Right.
But
but so I understand when they did that, and I was like, it sucks because he's going through this, and if it turns out that like yes, it was all her, then that sucks for him. However, I don't understand on the same token how DC did not do anything with her and still put her in Aquaman 2 that is in post-production right now and is being made.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's in post. It's done. They can't CGI somebody else in. It's going to tank.
Oh, no, but they could go do reshoots because they fucking did that for, like, Justice League. Justice League, when they put Justice League together, halfway through, Zack Snyder had to, like, he had a family thing and he had to leave production. Joss Whedon came in, which everybody who I've ever talked to has agreed that it was a worse production because of it. But
I used to really like him, but apparently he's a fucking monster.
I know. Like, he used to come off as, like, this really great advocate and everything.
Because I loved all that shit on TV.
Oh, yeah. Buffy and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but they did a shit ton of reshoots. Here's my thing. These companies and stuff, they have enough money to burn that they can do whatever the fuck they want to. So, like, DC made the conscious decisions to say, you know what, she won the lawsuit in UK, we're not going to do anything about it. And my thing is, regardless of how this like whole thing goes, the straight up like just audio clips that I've heard so far in the trial of her on tape talking to him, I'm like, how did she not get dropped from any production? Like, because as far as abuse goes, like, and there might be abuse on both sides in this relationship. Like, it's just sometimes relationships are like that. You bring out the worst in each other.
Right.
But like the things that I've heard on tape of her abusing him, I'm like, how did you not like at all drop her from anything? Is she still like a completely working actor, like doing all of her shit, still making money, all this stuff? He got dropped from every franchise he was in.
Yeah.
Never did anything. And I feel like that's kind of a double standard when it comes to domestic violence and abuse and things like that, is that the man automatically is like presumed the person in the wrong at first.
Right.
And like listening to some of the stuff, I'm like, holy shit, she was a monster.
Yeah.
Like a horrible monster.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have any skin in the game. I when it comes to him, I'm like, he purposely went out of his way to destroy his looks so to speak, because he didn't like being known for that. And I'm like, he Charlie Sheened his teeth up, and I'm like, can you get those like veneered or bleached or something, honey? But you know, he really, and he's aged so much because of drugs and alcohol and cigarettes and so on and so forth. So I've never been a big fan of either of them. I mean, I was probably a fan of his when I was like in high school when 21 Jump Street was on, because who wasn't? I mean, Teen Idol. But yeah, I mean, I think that people are gun shy in the industry because of Me Too. Now, Me Too serves a very valid, like, Harvey Weinstein ruined the careers of so many women. He ruined Uma Thurman's career. He ruined Mira Sorvino. He ruined Ashley Judd's careers. And that's on Hollywood, not so much on, I mean, it is on him, but that's on Hollywood. The number of people who are like, oh, Harvey says that she's difficult.
Right. So I'm not going to work
She's
with her.
difficult to sleep with is what you meant.
Yeah.
I mean, she's difficult to fucking rape.
She won't sleep with the producer.
Yeah. She won't let me rape her. But I think that also made people really gun shy to come out and be like, you're lying.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But my thing is I feel like when there wasn't a resolution, and like clearly they're still going through this, like he got axed from everything. Mm-hmm. Fine. I'm fine with it. She should have also, like, because clearly this is a thing that's on both sides, that they have both accused each other of these things. But instead of taking it as like the Me Too thing, I think works for men and women. Yeah. And it's like Terry Crews came out and said that he had been
Me Too'd. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I feel like the Me Too movement, I think, is good. But I feel like when it came out, Hollywood tried to respond and be like, oh, no, we trust all these women and everything else. And that's great. But also, like, sometimes you need to trust the men, too, when they say stuff.
Right.
Because they also are subject to some of these things that happen.
Right. One of my favorite things I was watching, and I cannot tell you what it was. I want to say it was on PBS, but it might not have been. It was one of those things where, like, I got mascara in my eye now. We'll carry on while I stick my fingers in my eye. One of those things was a round table, and I want to say it was male actors. And one of the questions came up is like, you know, females have this huge pressure. There's the casting couch myth, or not myth. There's the casting couch thing. There's this, the you know, quid pro quo kind of shit. But does it happen to men? And they were like, yes and no. Like, what was the other thing? Like, women lose their careers sooner because they age out. Yeah. Which is ridiculous.
Right.
God damn it. Look, it's not hiccups, it's belches. So they age out of stuff, and they were asking, like, you know, have you ever been judged for your looks when it came to a role? And they were like, yeah, I mean, obviously you're going to be judged, like, whether you look right for the role, whether, you know, they were like, that just happens to everybody. Kevin Bacon, and this has been documented, there was a female studio executive that was part of the Footloose casting. Yeah. And she did not want to cast Kevin Bacon because she, quote, said he wasn't fuckable. Oh. And I'm like, that's news to everybody. Yeah. I don't know that many people that are like, not fuckable. Actually, the older he gets, the better looking he gets.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, love you.
I will say there are a lot of men in Hollywood who age very well. And I feel like it's a lot because they don't do like the Botox and the plastic surgery. Whereas like a lot of women are concerned about aging and stuff.
I wonder if like testosterone gives you better collagen too.
Oh, maybe.
I don't know. I think it's unfair.
But George Clooney's because there's amazing. Some women that clearly have gotten like work done and stuff, and I'm like, you looked better before you did that.
Fucking Courtney Cox.
I know, that's such a sad face.
I loved Cougar beautiful. Town, but eventually I'm like, your face doesn't move anymore.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
and it's weird. But then John Hamm was on the same thing, and he said that they didn't want to hire him for Mad Men because the casting I think it was the casting director said he wasn't attractive enough.
What?
Yeah. She said he wasn't attractive.
Who does she think is attractive?
I don't know, because I mean,
he's pretty universally good looking.
Yeah. And now he's kind of by the way, James Corden is quitting the Late Late Show. No. Yeah, this will be his last year. But he has had some wonderful moments, and one of them was with John Hamm, and they were doing the like eating weird things, like answer or eat these things. Yeah. And one of the things that James Corden asked him about was, so my mom wants to know, something about talking about what's in your pants.
Oh God.
And like he asked him a question about it, and John Hamm was like, "Yeah, I'll just eat the squids." And I'm like, you don't have to ask him. You can just go search and find all of these videos where Honey doesn't like to wear underwear.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that when I first heard about John Hamm, it was not because I watched any shows he was in. It was
because of John's ham.
Yes, it was because of John's ham. And I was like, wait, what? Who? And like they even made a joke about it. Like I think at an Oscar or Golden Globes or something like that. And I was like, wait, what happened?
Yeah.
Who's this dude?
Jesus. He wasn't attractive enough. He's actually a really funny actor too. He was in Bridesmaids.
Oh yeah. I've seen him in, like as a bit roles and things. And he comes
The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
Yeah.
He's her. If you haven't seen it, then spoiler. He's the cult leader in The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. So he does some really funny shit.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
But I cannot believe that somebody. We're not going to get to that stuff. I can't believe that somebody said that. But the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp stuff, I'm just like, you guys are both ridiculous.
Oh no, it's crazy. Some of the things I've heard in that, I'm like, you guys are both like.
And he had to read on the stand his text.
Oh God.
His text to Paul, what's his name? Bettany.
Yeah.
Which the only thing I know him from is like I know who he is. He was in the tennis movie. And then you guys might know him more from A Knight's Tale. He played Chaucer.
But also he was Vision in all the Marvel movies.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you say so.
He was Jarvis's voice for the first few. And then because there's been like 20 movies out now.
You hate being my partner.
Yeah.
Don't you?
No, it's fine. He was, but I do know the tennis movie you're talking about with Kristen Dunst. Mm-hmm. I loved him in that. He was also in A Beautiful Mind.
Oh, was he?
And Chaucer from A Knight's Tale is probably one of my favorate roles of his.
Oh my God. A Knight's Tale is probably one of my favorite movies.
A Knight's Tale is just, I mean, it's fucking fabulous. Yeah. Like it's just, and it ages like, it doesn't get old. I could watch that over and over.
Yeah, that and I just love some of Heath's older movies. I understand the Joker stuff that fucked him up.
Yeah, 10 Things I Hate About You.
10 Things I Hate About You.
Good. And the best soundtrack ever. And
the dad on 10 Things I Hate About You.
Oh yeah,
one of the best. He was like, "Do you know what the 15-year-old said as I delivered twins from her? I should have listened to my father. No, she didn't, but she would have." Him having to read tweets or the messages like I hope that cunt's rotting corpse is in the back of the trunk of a Honda somewhere.
Wait, was that Paul Bettany saying that?
No, that was Johnny Depp. Paul Bettany. Yeah. There were a couple of them that he was like, they were like, "Can you read it?" And he's like, "These are probably unfortunate." Oh my goodness. We've reached our time. We're way beyond our time. It was supposed to be an early night.
All right. So if you guys want to follow us, you can find us on Instagram and Twitter at DBBL_podcast, Facebook, YouTube, DBBL space podcast, or our website is dbblpodcast.com, or you can email us at dbblpodcast@gmail.com.
Please follow us on Twitter. That's my main communication. I run if Brandy gives me something to post, I usually put her initial after it, but it's pretty much just me posting stuff.
So pretty much
it'd be easier if you guys would all just go to Twitter. When we run contests, that's where we run them from. We had 7 winners. I should have had this pulled up. We had a contest.
Gave away pint glasses.
We gave away pint glasses.
We had a couple winners in Canada.
Yeah, those were, I love you guys, but those were really expensive packages to send. I was just like...
So we hope you enjoy them.
I hope everybody got them because I'm afraid that some people did not, and I did not. I had it posted on there as to who won, and I'm trying to get to it, and it's just not going to happen in time. Oh, here we go. Our winners were at Leo J. Allen Jr. He is the host of Voluntary Input. At Racola del Rolla, otherwise known as Latin Jukebox. They're another podcast. Jude Mans, Ashley D, 361297775, Graybeard's Tale, another podcast, Shock and Roll, at The Morally, that is the Morally Flexible Podcast. They're fucking hilarious. And they said, they mentioned us when they got the glass, and they were like, they're basically us, except girls. And I was like, thanks. And friend Hannah Benston, if you're in the Gem City, please support the Gem City Rollers, which is the roller derby team. Hopefully we will be recording an episode live, either watching it live streaming or live at the roller derby.
We're working on that. So my Las Vegas trip might have gotten us some research on some new gear that we can travel with. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, that'll open us up to a little bit more because I'm not packing all of this shit up. Nobody wants to do that.
No, nobody wants to do
hauled
that.
this in and out of the bar for 3 months. And then we were like, can we just leave it here?
Yeah, let's just leave this shit.
But anyway, we appreciate you guys joining us. Next time we are together, probably our more serious topic, because we do need to try and jump back into the original purpose of the thing. I wanted to talk about the shit that's happening with all of these bills against trans kids and trans families and how ridiculous it is. And it's so widespread. So it's heartbreaking. So maybe we'll talk about that next time. We will also talk about all of the funny shit that happens to us because somehow shit just keeps happening to us.
Yeah, that's the thing.
It's summer. We're going to meet the most interesting people all summer long. So anyway, we appreciate you joining us. Please find us on our socials. And until next time, cheers. You're just going to hear belching and burping and all kinds of things. Excuse me. Skyline.